see if I get the transcoder. If I don't, I will try to restart to get it. Oh, cool. I got it. So, hello everybody. This is going to be the last stream of mine for a while. This is stream number 445. Yesterday was the day of fours. So, I'm just going to be working on some non-glamorous stuff today. Working towards completing snapshot schema and data migration tool. So these are all the different kinds of components in the game that are still stored only in JSON that I need to get migrated over into the snapshot database format, the new format I'm using. And each of these is at least one table, sometimes like NPC and player character, there are multiple tables. So I'm not sure how far I'll get into this. I don't think this is going to be a very long stream, so maybe just a little bit into this, and then that'll be it. Hi A Squared, how are you doing? My shortcuts are back so I can wave again. All right. So look is the table I need to do next, it looks like. So let's see. This is the candidate schema that I come up with like last year. So look is right here, and the migration script, yeah, it would go here, right? Since I already have item is here, look is next. So let's just add that. Just adding things. Change this here. String style entity okay, semicolon there, right? All right. So every table that I add in the migration script, I want to have also added in the migration tool. Cat's meowing over there. You can see he hasn't decided he's going to sit. Oh, there he goes. Welcome aboard. That's my co-pilot there. He's going to help me code this. Components. Yeah, so here's item, right? Let's make yeah, he is coming to help me. Thank you very much, kitty. Got inspect to make sure everything's okay. Look.rs. Now the look, I think, is going to be a lot like the inspect, right? Interact, right? It's actually the same, pretty much the same. Little Stew Dragon, thank you for the resub. Time is flying, man. Yeah, this is gonna be the last stream for a while, so hope that's okay. Yeah, my kitty is such floof. 26 months though. Thank you, Lentil Stew Dragon. Mr. Halsey, how are you today? Third time's the charm. Cliffy says thank you. Hello, Rambane. How are you doing? I don't know, Lentil Stew Dragon. Starting a job on Monday. So, depends on how easy it is to tread water, so to speak, in the new job. And then what restrictions my new employer will have for me. I have to, like, get the all clear that I'm not doing not in conflict of interest with them. What will we be doing? Software engineering. Big company. That's probably all I should say. Since I don't want to even give the appearance of representing them outside of work. I am pretty excited. You started hunting again? Good luck. Irish Gordo, hello. Yep, so just gonna do some non-glamorous work today, but I figure, like, I didn't say the last stream was the last stream. Actually, the last stream was the last stream, but this stream is going to be the last. So I'm like, I didn't want to go out with a whimper because Wednesday was sort of a low turnout, and I didn't end it with saying this is going to be the last stream for a while. So I'm like, I should stream one last time on Friday, even if it's like not the most glamorous stuff. All right. The interact and the look are very similar, so I'm just going to copy paste and change the names. Oh, that's bad. Fix that. Okay, interact would become look. Component, entity, import look. Super simple, actually. Okay, and then pulled in like that. I need to add it to the list of modules. Components. Mod look. Boss knows that you stream. She's cool with it. Keeps your brain engaged. Well, I hope my boss is just as cool. Thanks, No Good Nick. Yeah, I hope so too. The one thing I don't know yet is whether or not they'll be okay with me streaming. I kept telling them during the hiring process that, like, I've been streaming for a couple of years now. This is a big thing for me. So, but you know how big companies could be, right? They sometimes aren't even like really prepared to even give you an answer until you're already working for them. Right, pub look vector of look. What I should be doing here is comparing with the game snapshot. Uber Unix, you're giving out a gift sub. Muscavish got one. Wow, awesome. Thank you for that gift, Uber Unix. You didn't have to do that. You're comfortable answering, do you know anyone you'll be working with? Not directly. I met them when they interviewed me. I do know a few people at the company, though. Aw, thank you, Uber Unix. That's very sweet of you. Why is this the last stream for a while? Getting a job on Monday. Or starting a job on Monday. I already technically have the job, signed all the paperwork and stuff like that. So it'll be probably... My experience is that for me, it takes at least a few weeks, if not like a month or two, just to get to tread water, so to speak, to learn all the new things I need to know, to get integrated into the team. And I think I would just be too exhausted to try to stream while I'm doing that. And also I need to get the go-ahead from them that it's still okay. Okay, thank you, Lentil Stew Dragon, again. Thanks for the sub. And I hope to see you again soon. Or hope that you will be able to see me again soon. I haven't seen you, technically. 100 biddies? Aw, thank you, Mr. Halsey. That deserves a shout out, right? You guys should watch... Oh, what happened to my bot? My bot's dead. Hold on. We must fix this. Disable. Enable. Just kick the bot and it'll come back. Yeah, I think the rewrite in Rust will do a better job with the bot. The bot, the golem has trouble sometimes. It does not stay in the chat room. It's supposed to be in the chat room all the time. So yeah, guys should check out Mr. Halsey. He also streams Rust, the programming language I've been using. And he's making a game with Godot and Rust. So you get to see a game being built, game engine with Rust. Okay, I'm looking at components, and I'm going to collapse everything here. AutoMod is really strict today. Shaders and geometry have been kicking your butt. Well, that just means that you're being challenged and that you will be learning more, right? Is that the positive silver lining of that? If you get your butt kicked, you're learning. I think the dog wanted to interject. She walked by barking. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be importing. Actually, with these empty arrays, they're going to go away, right? The great stream is people in chat were awesome. Of course. People are always awesome. We have great communities, I think. There's some yelling going on in the background. I might have to be the messenger between the two parties in my house that are yelling to each other. Okay, never mind. One is approaching the other. All right. So look needs to be imported. Yeah, okay. And then we just connect it in here. Look, self, export, look, database might fail. All right. And then the import. CV, question mark. Okay, cargo build. Yeah, but now I think about it though, these sorts of tables will go away because none of these will insert any rows. Which I think is okay. I think that's okay. I just need to remember in the entity component system, if an entity has no rows for a type of component, not to assume that it doesn't actually have that component. Super cute and fluffy kitty is my co-pilot. His name is Casper. He's a pretty old kitty. He's old enough that now I need to give him fluids every day by injection, believe it or not. Getting pretty old. Call it a sub-Q injection, just under the skin. I'm actually getting quite good at it. And he is tolerating it a lot better than at the beginning. All right, NPC is going to be a daunting one because we have the normal columns, but then we have these subtables. Yeah, like the loot table. All right, I think we could do this. Let's start by copying look NPC. Call it NPC, and then in components do mod NPC. Put in this part, export NPC DB. Need to add. Oh, I know where I got distracted. I need to make sure that string is exactly the same as what shows up here. That string. Yeah, we're good. So what really Frank asks, why is it that you need to ask your employer for approval on something you do in the spare time? It's an American thing, I think. Actually, I don't know. It might be not just an American thing, but the companies, lots of times these big companies just have policies that you have to let them know what your hobbies are, just to make sure that you can't be competing with your employer, right? So if my work is going to be in software development and my streaming is software development, if I were to start streaming the similar, something close to what my employer is charging money for, then it could be seen that I might be competing, right? Yeah, I guess that's the other thing, is that if I do stuff on stream that's too close to what I'm being paid and trained for at the job, and I invent something, they can, claim ownership of the IP. So, but hey there, Lazy Guru. I think the biggest thing though is that they don't want me to say that. Let's say it's like Acme Incorporated. They don't want me to say I am now a public facing entity of Acme Incorporated, right? So if they would let me stream, if they're okay with me streaming, I'd still want to put in a big disclaimer, here and there, saying I am not representing them in any capacity. This is completely outside of that. It gets in their interest that you're practicing your skills and they benefit from it. That's how we would hope that they would see it. And I let them know. I don't want it to be a surprise to them. I let them know what my stream was. I gave them links to all this stuff. I even made some summaries for them. I picked out the YouTube videos that I had. I said, here's examples. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to conflict, but they still have a policy. That's another thing at the big company. You can get everyone to verbally agree that, yeah, there's probably no problem, but they'll still insist that you go through the formal policy. And if the formal policy says that in order to go through the procedure, you have to be employed, that means I have to wait until I'm an employee to even start the procedure. So it's this red tape bureaucracy that we have to live with, right? That a verbal agreement isn't enough. So, you know, but hopefully there's no problem. If anything, I think this is the last stream for a while because I just won't have enough energy to get used to the new job and stream at the same time. It's normally illegal, but they know that most employees won't be able to challenge it. Dumb laws in the US protect companies more than workers. Yeah, I don't know enough to say if to add to that, I guess. But I hate working for large companies, rather work where you get to know the owner. I can understand that. Big enough company that you have red tape. Yeah. Yep, definitely it's one of those companies with red tape. Yeah, I hope it goes well too. I guess I'll still be active in other channels and in the Discord, so I'll probably just keep anyone who cares to know how it's going, you'll be able to find out. All right, so NPC is a lot different than this, right? It's not just a vector of entities. What is it? So I think we need to have an NPC here. And NPC, oh, actually that's NPC. What did I do for these compound entities? Like, what did I do for a door? Oh, I just used the word component. Fine. NPC component. Oh, and it's not a vector, is it? Right, it's just a NPC component. Okay. Public struct NPC component. All right, just go from the top, I guess. Aggro. I believe that's just a vector of entities. Aggro range. Oh, and not every NPC has aggro, right? Yeah, so this has to be optional. And not every NPC has an aggro range either. Or maybe they do. Where's my NPC who's friendly? This guy. I hesitate to make this non-optional, but I guess we can. I can just change it later. Not entity. View size. We recently saw someone streaming OSU. Looks like a fantastic game. Reminds you of some old beat tapping games. Beat tapping games? Like, you mean like, Crypt of the Necrodancer? That kind of game? Or am I way off? I might be way off. Anchor. Does every NPC have an anchor? Yes. And anchor, which is another component. Ah. And this is just an X and a Y. Eye size. Actually, yeah, eye size. Do I know games? I might know some games. osu.ppy.sh. Yeah, rhythm game. Oh yeah. I haven't seen that particular one though. The mouse and keyboard, huh? That's cool. AT is action time or something like that, right? I have key names, right? .hpp. What was AT? I don't have a constant for that. Okay, I only have one for dialogue entry. Okay, so I'll just have to guess what AT was. I guess I could search for AT in Lua files. Why did I call it AT? Next action time is time plus, I guess it's action time. I'm looking to see if I have written out the word what it means. Action cooldown time. We'll call it action time. I put a rename on it. Optional U size. Okay. Actually, it's not U size, it's F64, right? Because it's a floating point. Alright, so then next. Attackable, looks like. D was dialogue, right? And not all of them have one. Yeah, some of them don't. Dialogue, it's an entity. Option, entity. Okay, guide is an optional bool, it looks like. And guide range, right? Guide range option U size. N is name, right? And there always is a name. Name, string. Next action time, right? Yes. And then I think that's next wander time. Tether max and tether min come next. I think they all have that, right? Tether max, tether min. I wonder if I can combine these using a range. Is this wise to do? I'm actually not sure. So this would be like range inclusive. F64? No, U size. And then wander time. Oh wait, I shouldn't do that because it's hard for CRD to yeah, I'd have to make custom. Okay, never mind. I'd have to make custom code to make it re-export as that again. So I'm not going to bother. F64, and then the min is also there. Okay, then weapon is subtable, right? Or no, I think the way I had this is I expanded it. I should just refer to what I had here. Anchor. Oh, right. Yeah, I shouldn't do this either. For the, yeah. For the same reason. Oh, wait, no, that actually is a structure. Okay, yeah, I'm just getting myself confused now. It's this, I'm trying to fit this schema, the old schema, right? So there it is a sub-object. Here it is too. So yeah, I need to have a weapon. Okay, we're going to have a whole bunch of renamed fields in here. I think this is attack bonus. And DB's damage bonus, I think. DD is die. As in like rolling the die. How many pips on a die? And then N is num rolls, I think I called it. Rules? Rolls. Number of die rolls. So this would be 1d6 plus 0 damage. Pub weapon. They all have a weapon, right? Yes. Okay, what am I missing here? Next action, time, next wander, time, name, guide range, guiding. Oh, it's not guide, it's guiding. I don't think it's guiding. I think it should have been guide. But there actually might be another flag called guiding. Let me look. Ah, yeah, there is. There are actually two different flags, guide and guiding. Oh, wait a second. The Lua doesn't mention guide? I wonder if this flag is obsolete then. Okay, yeah. So that flag is obsolete. We don't need to import it. And this is guiding, which is present in present. Excuse me. It's present when the guide is actually guiding us. Had to hop in a meeting. Okay, see you, Mr. Halsey. And thanks again. All right, just looking for things I might have missed. Class, I don't have that. That's optional too, right? That's only for spawned enemies. Yeah, that's an entity then. Okay. So that goes right here. Pub class, optional entity. Oh, we have a bunch of these. Is there an example of that in here? Yeah. My throat's dry already. So here's an example where we had one on completion callback. Looks like I had 4 others that we can have. Oh yeah, they get renamed in the Lua. I think I was intending to update the Lua to have the, or I was going to update the entity components, the component names to match the Lua names. So that's why I had them using the new names here, but the old names are without it. So I should base it off of this, right? It's on wait, on abort, on completion. Okay. On wait. These are optional strings. Abort. Completion. Okay, and then there's travel abort, travel completion. Wait, but these are reading from the same fields. Oh, I know why. They're parameters. They don't come from the entity component system. Okay, never mind. So wait, then how did this ever work here? I wonder if this is old. It looks like I might have renamed it, but I didn't rename it in this old snapshot. Okay, if that's the case, then this, yeah, these are all be guide, and then I have travel without wait, right? Abort and completion without wait. So this is travel. Hey there, Nui. How are you doing today? Pursuing and the pursuing entity. Enemy. Pursuing pursuing enemy. And why are these separate variables in Lua? Wait, that's used like a Boolean. Oh, it is. Pursuing is a... okay, so I got those two mixed up then. Pursuing is string, and this one is bool. Why is it text? Pursuing enemy. Oh, it's like either... yeah, okay. It's either anchor or it's like entity or something like that, right? Okay. So fine. So far, so good for the 16 minutes today. Happy Saturday. Still Friday here. We're over on the other side of the pond. Step. I sure missed a lot. This has no step. How come I don't see a step? Step. Oh, again, this is when an NPC is moving. Okay, so this is going to be optional again. And how is that used? It looks like it's a number. Okay, tether min-max to this. Travel abort. Wait time and wait time out. What's the difference? Oh, that's when the guide is waiting for you to get closer. So what's wait time? Yeah, this is the boat script. I remember this. Okay, wait time is like an interval, and wait time out is a absolute time. All right, so I need both of them. I just don't know if I like the names. Damage. Attack bonus is up here, right? Oh yeah, weapon attack bonus, damage die, damage rolls. Let's just make it consistent. Okay, this is a monster table. All right. So this is a much larger table, like insert into NPC values, a lot of values actually. So we're gonna need a concat here because this is gonna get big. All right, how many do we have? Oh, I never copied that over. Shoot. I wanted to copy the schema over as is, because I didn't see any need to change it. But yet in alphabetical order. Indent, and then fix this indentation. All these double quotes go away. That turns into a semicolon. And this is spelled out. Yeah. Entity echo range, yeah, these are all good, right? Okay. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2. So 32 columns. So this is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. All right. It's a lot of columns. Jeez. I guess I'm just going down this whole list here. All right. Get rid of the 30 lines. And then run all the way down this list. Go one word to the left, go to the end of the line, hit comma. And then the front, it's npc dot component dot. And then save. All right, that's quite the list. At least one of these isn't convertible. Why is that? Oh, I don't have a to and from SQL for, right, so I need to expand the anchor, right? So this should be anchor.x, anchor.y. What other substructures do we have here? The weapon. So it's weapon, attack bonus, well, copy this much of it. Damage bonus, damage die, damage rolls. Entity isn't convertible to SQL? Oh, vector of entity. Where is the vector of entities? Oh, right here. Oh, that's why aggro is missing from here, because aggro is its own subtable. So we don't want to include aggro here. Well, I do want to include aggro there, but we don't include it in the count here, so delete that. Let me make sure I got the count correct. That was 32, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2. So 32. So 94 plus 32 is 126. Yes. Cool. Glad I can still do math. So this will import all of the all of these parts of the NPC. So we're still missing the aggro. So we'll do that as another a looped insert with this table being next, right? So that entity indent and indent. So we have NPC aggro, right? So it'll be for slot, comma, entity in npc.component.aggro.iter.enumerate. This kind of thing. Insert into NPC aggro values, and there's just 3 of them. So you don't need a concat, comma. So it's NPC entity, slot, and entity. With context at the end. Unable to insert NPC aggro component. This probably needs to be dereferenced. Both of these, no, not this one. This one needs to be dereferenced though. Cool. Oh, maybe not. There's another U8 here. What are the types that we're dealing with? That's wrong. Oh. Yeah, I don't need an option. That's the problem. If a vector being empty is like a none. Yeah, okay, that fixed it. Okay, so what's this up here? Yeah, we don't need that yet. Range inclusive. Okay, export. This should be select all from NPC. Right, so I actually don't want to do it that way. I want to do it like I did with players. This thing, this very long thing. So it's select everything from NPC, unable to read NPCs, query, and then with the row, we're going to do OK. NPC. Yeah. Where we have a whole bunch of these. Like entity is the first column, right? Get 0, unable to get NPC entity ID. And just delete all this stuff. And then it goes all the way down to the bottom, and then we have a collect at the end. Like that. And this is just missing fields, right? Okay, this is let NPCs equal that. Oh, was I going to have a nested lookup? Did I do that in players? Oh, okay, no I didn't. Can't call get with a column name, it has to be an index. I think you might be able to do it with a column name. Maybe it's what I should be doing. I just know you can get it with an index, but it's a good thing to look up. Just because it doesn't use it doesn't mean it's not there. It could just mean that I'm not used to the API yet. So there's get, it takes a row index that is okay. Looks like there is an implementation on a slice. So I guess I could give a slice. I don't know how that works though. Looks like column index is what it calls. Returns a column index in the result set for the given column name. There is no as clause, then the name of the column is unspecified and may change from one release to escalate to the next. If associated DB schema can be altered concurrently, you should make sure the current statement has already been stepped once before calling this method. I don't know if it works with a wildcard. I think maybe it might work if I didn't use a wildcard. It's not a personal preference, it's just that I know that that works, but it is sort of a code smell that there are these magic numbers, right? It is sort of bad, because if I get these backwards, I actually had that problem last time I worked on this. If I swap some of these, then the data gets, at worst, the data gets swapped by accident silently. At best, there's a type mismatch because some of the columns might be incompatible types, right? Like a real number doesn't fit into an integer. And so I would get a runtime error. Yeah, it probably is less fragile column names. I should probably do that, but let me do this and put it in my list of things to do for improvement. How about that? To do. I'll give you a point too for pointing that out. To do, use column names instead of indices in get calls for database select rows, query rows. There we go. We'll do the right thing eventually. Can't spend those points anywhere. You can just collect them for now. If and when I actually get my game up and running, the points you'll be able to spend them in my game. Always feels like you're fixing one thing and find 3 more to-dos. Yeah, it's like you're climbing a mountain, and it'll the number of to-dos will outpace you're getting them done. But hopefully, when you get towards the top of that mountain, you can at least start saying, well, at this point, all these to-dos are like version 2 to-dos, and then you can get down to where you can actually accomplish version 1. I don't know. I don't know. It's 7 points, Adam. I think it's more like 8,354 points. How are you doing, Adam? I was gonna say 13,531 points, but that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. Pretty sure it's 7. Oh, that's right. Get Off My Lawn is in my description. Huh. Yeah, I guess I must have reached the character limit. That's why no one else's name appears there. Good catch, Adam. All right, so when I get to the end, I'm going to want to return those rows. But in the... Maybe I did have a subquery in here. Did I? I did. Look at that. Subqueries. So then I don't need to assign this something. I just do that, and we'll have subqueries in here. All right, let's do it. So, component. Is this how I did it for the other complex components, like character? Oh, looks like the answer is yes. So it's going to be component is a NPC component built from other rows like this. So, all right. So then this is where it gets a little bit painful, right? Although I suppose the way I've organized this one, they're in order, so it's just gonna be kind of gross, but not too painful. Delete the serde rename lines. Go all the way down this list of pub keywords, delete them all. Go one word to the left, go to the end of the line, and do colon, row.get some number, dot context. I keep scrolling on me. Unable to get NPC something. Like that, right? Yeah, this is pretty gross. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I already know I'm wrong because this should be like anchor is an anchor where the X is 3, the Y is 4. And so this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know you're doing something wrong when you start having to count manually in your code. Probably what I'll end up doing at some point is just write a clever macro to generate this code for me. But I am nowhere near the skill level required to make such a macro at this point, so I'm going to just leave this as a future achievement for future Raimu. Current Raimu not skilled enough, you know, we need to leave something for future Raimu to do, right? So I'll just copy these. That's the limit. I think I have to find a creative way to add other names to You know what? I'm editing the wrong place, aren't I? This is totally the wrong file. Okay, undo. Okay, don't touch that file anymore. You need to go down and hit this one. I need to think of a clever way to add people's names to my about thing and not make it look forced. 29, 30. I think I'm off by one somehow because there were definitely 32 question marks here, right? Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay. I hate being off by one. It's the worst feeling. You have a panel below that hits your server with a special thanks to the top and then lists. If I had infinite time, I would do all these things. These are all great ideas. What doesn't it like? Oh, you know what? This is gonna suck because this is a subcall. This is export NPC aggro db comma entity, right? Which we have to fetch first. So let entity equal all of this. Entity. Yeah, I have to go and change all those numbers now. Okay. Wait. Was it player? I can't remember anymore. Which one had the complex query in it? I can't remember. I guess it was players. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So these are all off by one. That's 1. That's 2, 3. Feels bad, man. I'm off by 1. Now I'm feeling the pain of not being able to automate. At some point, we'll reach the crossing point of how much time I spent typing these things manually versus how much time it would have taken to learn how to relearn procedural macros and to write one to auto-generate this code. And then a future Raimu is going to look back and say, past Raimu, why the heck didn't you just write the procedural macro? Why did you go through all the effort of copy-pasting and making this spaghetti code? I guess it's not spaghetti code. What do you call code that just like goes lines and lines, which is like all boilerplate? Boilerplate explosion? Being off by a million is a much worse feeling. Yep. Okay, this function needs to exist, so let's add that down here. Export NPC aggro. So there's the database, and then there's the entity. Is that what we need? Yes. So entity. And let's just do a to-do here for now. All right. Why is it still not like that? Oh, because it needs to return the correct type. This needs to return a vector of aggros. No, vector of entity, right? That's what an NPC aggro table is. It's just a list. Okay, why isn't it not like this? Can't find the function because I don't know why. Should be able to find it. It's right down here. Maybe because of this collect here? Am I just blind? Oh. I have to put self : in front because we're inside of a type. Yeah. Just fix some code first try. That's always a great feeling, with a tinge of worry that you missed something. You're writing to a comport and a tight loop. Comport? Ancient technology. And a tight loop and never checking that it had a space in the sending buffer, so it was dropping basically everything. Now you repeatedly pull until it's ready, and the fix worked first try. Wow. When I read like tight loop, repeatedly polling until it's ready, I'm thinking 100% CPU until your COM port catches up. This is not a desktop PC, but this is something embedded, right? I hope. Value of a... Don't do that to me, editor. Don't do that to me. Value of type result vector of NPCs cannot be built from elements of type NPC. Oh, yeah. This whole thing needs to be inside an OK. Because of the question mark becomes an early return. So if it doesn't early return, it's OK. That's the only way we can get an OK all the way on the outside. What's wrong with this one? Type annotations needed. Where have I seen that before? Many places. I think it just needs to know the error type, right? Yeah, it needs me to say something like this, I believe. Do I really need to say all these underscores, though? I don't remember. I'm guessing so? Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like the compiler needs a little bit of a helping hand there to figure out the type. Okay, cool. So that should compile, and it's going to complain that there's too many lines in this. Well, oh, needless question mark. What? Oh, right. I just dropped the question mark at the end, and then I can drop the OK as well. Okay, Clippy's helping me out today. There we go. It's desktop, but you're running a VM for now. You don't need to fix it because fix it so that's a loop that waits for some signal. You don't have those features yet. Okay. And future A squared needs work anyway, right? So don't do all the work for future A squared. Let future A squared have something to do. Okay, let's see if I can do this without copying from somewhere else. Select everything essentially, right? Where an entity equals something. From NPC aggro where entity is something. Unable to read NPC aggro table. And hopefully we don't need that, but we do have an argument, which is entity. And then we get a row of OK, right? Yes. Oh, right. We don't actually need anything but the element. But I'll do an order by slot. Yes. So basically the slot is used to just sort. We know the entity, so the only thing we care about are the elements. So then it really is just okay. Well, we could just shorten this, right? Row.get 0. That. And then in a collect. Expected semicolon. In, well, if I get rid of that, I don't need a semicolon. What am I missing? Is it query map? I'm off by something here. Oh, I want to do a context first. And this should be an and then. Yeah, because we actually have, it's like this. We actually have a parameter. So it's unable to bind NPC entity ID to query. And then collect. And I probably, what's wrong? Found enum of, oh, I need to map the error, I guess. Well, what if I get rid of that? What will it do? Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Prepare context. I guess I could be a little bit more elaborate here. Unable to read aggro table for NPC number. That's entity. And then query and then. Oh, there's a, it folds that. So yeah, let's do the same thing. Unable to parse NPC aggro entity. And almost happy. What's wrong with this? Display trait isn't implemented for entity, but the debug is. Impression is correct. It's while not ready, which probably use as much CPU as it can. Yeah. It's all reminding you why you dislike working with SQL and Rust. It's basically no type safety, nested errors, and closures. Well, we're doing the type safety for it a little bit. We can, it does some of it for me if I, if this is used, like if this thing has implements to and from SQL, which it does. But as long as I do that, then it can do some of the type checking for me. But we still need to do something with the error, right? So there's going to be a bunch of handling the errors at various places. And I try to make it to use context or with context so that I can remind myself that it is possible to run into these things. Very unlikely for this one, but sure, these might be possible if there's something wrong with the database, if it gets corrupted in some way. And the expect is when it should never fail. Like at that point, it only has an error if this parameter binding is invalid, but that's empty, right? So parameterless query should not fail. But yeah, we do have to handle multiple failure points. It really doesn't like me using entity. It doesn't implement debug either. Well, why don't we just implement it? I did this for player ID. Yeah, it's not too much not too much to work not too much to do. So implement display for entity. Easy peasy. Except for I need to use standard. Why is there self there? Format display. There. I don't know why I didn't have a derived I think because I think I would want to implement it myself, because if you derive the default display or debug, I mean, I think it will put the word entity and then in parentheses the number in the output, and I didn't want that for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think I have a good reason, A squared. Maybe I should just add it here. Let's just add it and pretend it was always there. But I think you can't do, you can't default a display, right? This, well, it won't let me do this, I think. It'll say, missing traits to be derived. What? Why is it saying that? Oh, because there's no comma there. Yeah, it won't let me auto, can't find a derive macro display in this scope. Basically, fancy way of saying we don't know how to derive display. We can derive everything else though. Yeah. Okay, I think this should work. It's probably enough that I want to test this now. Just let me make sure that NPC is on the list. It is. Okay, so I have a script to do this. Migrate. And it will import and then re-export so we can look at the output. Hey there, Meridian. Why the last stream for a while? Because I'm starting a new job on Monday. And probably super exhausted from the new job to stream. At least for a while. Missing field wander time max. Okay, so that's because it's missing on some component. Let's find which one. At line 1308, right? Yeah, so this NPC doesn't have wander time. I don't know. I actually don't know why. It must be optional. Let me make sure. Wander time max. I might have made it optional in the Lua code. Yes. So these are all allowed to be missing. Okay, so I should make all of these optional because they are in the Lua allows them to be missing. So, how about action time? Yes, so these, next action time? No, action time can be default. Yes. Next wander time can be default. Aggro range can be default. Guide range can be default. Yes. Name, oh, there's a default NPC name? Really? What's the default NPC name? I didn't know I had a default NPC name. Monster. New jobs always kill streams. Yeah, Adam, you're experiencing that firsthand yourself, right? Happy for your job, shame about the stream, but such is life. Yeah, I know. I would like to do both, but there's only so much energy and time in a day. Gonna have your last stream tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be there as long as I can wake up in time. Feel like a default name shouldn't be a thing. Yeah, I didn't remember there being a default name monster. I wonder if that's a vestigial default, right? Maybe I can just assume that we don't have a default for name. I mean, what'll happen realistically is when I run this migration script on the production database, if there is any NPC in the entire production environment that doesn't have a name, I'll get an error similar to this one. It'll say missing field name. And so on, and I'll be able to look and say, okay, well, I made, what was it, Adam, the slime that we had? Maybe I forgot to name him or something, right? And so then I'll have to either fix it manually or go in here and make that optional. Slimy, right? Slimy 2.0. What was it? What was my command for that? Good thing I have my own list of commands that only I can see. Slimy. Never forget. I've already forgotten. Yeah, for me as well. I hope this is not my last stream forever. You know, we always hope that we can do the things we want to do, but sometimes there are constraints that we have to work around, right? Let me go back until I find that list again. Yes. Next wander time. Can be optional, okay. Tether min and max. Yeah, these option. Wait time option. Wander time. Yep. The cool thing is that Rust is really nice about this, as well as Rust QLite is really nice about this. Option, basically, if it's none, it's null. If it's something, then it gets unwrapped. So it's kind of nice that I can just add that and see, I didn't have to change anything else. We can just rerun the tool and it should just work. Should be part of the deep lore? Of course it will be. There's going to be an entire like area of the game dedicated to it, and only a few select people will understand the subtext of it. Missing field aggro. Oh, the entire aggro list is... Oh, wait a second. how did I do this before? Hold on. Player JSON, right? Wait, what? Oh, it is optional. 1389. So there must be an NPC without an aggro table. This green slime has no aggro table? Oh, look at that. Okay, well, I guess it's optional. Should still work, right? Yeah, it should still work. Uh-oh. No, we have to do some extra fix up here. Yeah, so this should be only if it is some. So if let some aggro equal this. Murdium, I hope that Adam and I have, if not helped you directly, at least encouraged you to keep going with CS. It's really sweet of you to say that. We have followed you along your whole CS study. I'm honored to be in that set. Okay, now that's happy. What about this one? All right, so this one should be like, I don't know. Maybe exported always. That's probably the best, right? Unless there are some like where we have aggro. And then, oh yeah, see, so it's going to be impossible for me to know whether to have an empty table or to have no table. So we'll just always export an empty table. Finished it last year? Oh, congrats, Murdy. That's just awesome. Like, I don't even know you personally, and yet I've helped you. That's just crazy cool, you know? Crazy awesome. All right, so now I can compare this snapshot with these various NPCs in it to the re-exported one. So that's game.snapshot on the stage, right? So cameras, caps, character. I just collapse everything. I can collapse everything. Wow. So there are NPCs. So expand everything from that point. Okay. Compare to this. So the indentation's different. But I see the same numbers and everything. Oh, this stuff. Right. The options we have to list as like don't serialize if they're none. And I've forgotten to do that the last couple times I worked on this. So, but I did that for player. Yes, this skip serializing if none. I should add this to all the optional stuff. So that yeah. Okay. Yes. Actually no. This then yeah, that's correct. Okay. Actually, this is not necessary. Sorry, I got people yelling in the background. Blop, blop. See, sometimes it's an extra attribute and sometimes it's the only attribute. So it's... Okay, here's a whole bunch of ones that are easy to do. All right. Try again. Latency is about 2 seconds? Wow. I'm sure it's his fault. I mean, he's sleeping way too much, causing that latency of 2 seconds. That obviously must be it, right? Okay, cool. So a lot of the fields have gone away, and it should kind of mirror this. So George, guide range 3. This one we dropped on purpose. These are all there. These are there. Am I missing? Okay, the on... Oh, what happened to on completion? On completion got dropped somehow. Waypoints is another table I forgot. Okay. So we forgot about waypoints and we forgot about on completion. Should I pet the cat? I can pet the cat. You can't apply that at the struct level? I think you can, yes. I can apply it at the struct level if this whole structure is optional. But the way I had it set up was I was always going to put the vector out even if there were no elements. So when we're serializing, it's never going to be none. It's always going to be something. But yeah, if for some reason I in the code set it to none, then it would drop the whole thing altogether. Oh, Meridium said, "Is there a bug? Your bot didn't show your last sentence." The chat overlay up there, just Stream Parrot. It's been having it and or Twitch have been having issues this week. Sometimes people's messages don't show up. Get back to streaming one day, but be able to commit to it. Yeah. Let's see if your message got through. Yeah, I don't see it. I wonder if it's just Twitch being weird today. But hold on. I think what Meridium said is very important. So we're going to go pet the cat. Okay, the cat appreciated that. On completion, what happened to on completion? Did I just forget about it? Oh, I didn't rename it like I was supposed to, right? Actually, I'm not. I'm thinking that in the production database it says on guide completion, and this is just old data. But waypoints should have been in there. I just forgot about that, I suppose. Oh, actually, I forgot a whole bunch of different things. It got renamed to path. This must be really old data in the snapshot then, right there. I think I have to rely on the Lua then here. Path. Waypoints. Yeah, so there's nothing called waypoints anymore in the Lua. It must have gotten renamed. There is a path though. That's fireworks. Yeah, npc.path. Okay. So I have a couple more to do, and I guess I'll just rely on my old work being good, is that I need to do loot, path, travel, and class. Class is a different entity, actually. So we need loot, path, and travel. Loot. Loot. And we're going to have an array of it. Okay, I can do this. Okay, F64. Actually, all of these use size, right? All of these string, and that we can't have the word type is a reserved word in Rust, so I have to do a rename here. Okay, let me make sure that Look for one that has a loot table. Okay, so it looks like I actually did rename a lot of stuff. Yeah, and these, yeah, all of these should be snake case. And it means I should also probably make it snake case when I copy it here in a second. Type is what you see, yeah. Bit off topic, but do you know anything about Ethernet auto negotiation of gigabit speeds? I have an impression of what it might be, but I don't really know anything about it, Tinspin. That's something I would probably look up on Google first. Yeah, Meridium, I enjoy doing the educational side of things. In fact, like if I can't do the streaming, I at least gonna try to push for continuing making YouTube videos for things like intro to WebSockets, that kind of stuff. I still want to do that. All right. No, I want to compare to this, right? CH is chance. So yeah, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of renames actually. Because again, I chose to abbreviate all this stuff. MQ instead of max quantity. N instead of name. Okay, and then Q is not actually stored like that. It's stored as an oh, can I actually do an array here? Let's see if I can. Let's call it quantity U size 2. T. TID is tile ID. And TS is tile set. Okay. And none of these are optional for the loot table. Okay, so loot is a vector of them. So here. And it's optional again. Optional vector of loot. Loot. So it'll want me to put something in for that. So same thing like aggro. Loot. Export NPC loot. Export NPC loot. Okay, but I need more than element this time. I need 7 different fields. So I think I will do it's sort of cheating to do a star like that, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. Where entity equals something order by slot. Loot. Okay, so this is a vector of loot. Okay, loot. A chance. And we're starting at 2, right? Because we're skipping the entity in the slot ID. Chance. Question mark. Comma. Oh, comma. Okay. I think it's going to take it, but I need to fill in the rest here. All right. Filling all these fields. So one word over, select to the end, colon, row.get some number.context, unable to parse NPC loot something. Question mark, comma, save. Hope that it worked. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are the column IDs. And just pray that the compiler accepts it. Almost. All right, quantity is one of the weird ones, right? Don't tell me. You can't pick out an array. Well, bummer. Yeah, it's a little bit off topic, but that's why I think Tinspin prefaced it with a bit off topic. It's just someone happened to know it. So I'm okay with that from time to time, as long as it doesn't get too much. And if you could always ask in Discord, that hasn't actually been working out so well. I think the last few people who asked something in Discord, no one had an answer. But it, if you're already in the Discord, you could. It won't hurt to post it there. They can really. Okay. Amazon is hiring something like 25. Amazon is also hiring people who know Rust, Adam. John Who got hired to work on Amazon Web Services. No, it's okay, Meridian. We're talking about the Ethernet stuff. Doesn't look like anyone had a quick answer, so that's why I posted the Discord thing. Okay, how am I gonna deserialize that? I guess deserialize it as a vector and then expect its length is 2. John Who? John Jengstedt. He got his PhD and then he got a job at AWS doing Rust because John is a big contributor to the Rust community. So I think from his already acquired fame in Rust, Amazon sought him out. That's what I'm guessing. So, and who else? Was it Microsoft is also hiring Rust developers? Or was it Facebook? So there's like a demand even within like the space of this Rust programming language that I'm now into. Pull it in as a tiny vec. I was thinking I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and make make it a vector, but then assert that its length is 2. So something like this: let quantity equal as a vec of usize loot quantity range. Okay, why doesn't it like that? Oh, come on. That should work. Can I say U32 at least? Oh, what am I doing? At the database, it's 2 different fields, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm major brain fart. I have to do min quantity, max quantity, and then assemble the array down here. Sorry. I get confused. So this is minimum quantity. And then max 6, and then quantity becomes just the array, min quantity, max quantity. And then 7 and 8 and 9 are the other rows. At least is that how I declared it? Yeah. There we go. Much better. This is not often run code. This is run once. And probably never run it again once I finish it. This is only because I have tons of data in the production environment that were stored in the old format. But if the database were to get damaged, or if I make backups, I might want to use this to export just because it's more readable. This format, even though it's really cumbersome for a computer to load it, is human readable. Whereas if it's in the database, in order to read it, I have to do SQL queries. You really like how people like Raymond Adam don't get job offers from bigger companies, or they get and they just don't like it. Both Adam and I got job offers from bigger companies, Meridian. So maybe I didn't understand what you're saying. Adam can say who he's working for. I'm being a little bit more cautious to say who I'm working for, but I'll say it's a big company and leave it at that. I should fill in these things because I was lazy. Aggro range. Anchor X. Anchor Y. I'll just repeat what I said in the previous streams this week. Probably not Rust, but I think it's going to be a lot of C++. Which I think is why they liked what I had on my resume when I said 20 years of experience with C++. I guess I wouldn't mind doing C++, as long as I get to do hobbies in my own time in Rust still. If someone said you can never use Rust again, I'd probably cry, but if they said, we'll pay you to do C++, but what you do on your own time is whatever you want, then I'm happy, I think. Maybe I try to adopt some of the same habits I've been learning with Rust when I do the C++ in the future. These should all say callback. These underscores don't need to be here. Whoops. This one and that one, and this one and that one. On travel abort callback. On travel completion callback. These are Lua callbacks, by the way. Pursuing type. Well, pursuing label. Entity type. Target. Pursuing enemy flag. Step. This is travel step. Tether max range. Tether maximum. Tether minimum. Travel abort flag. Wait time. Wait time out. It's like I'm writing documentation. This really feels like I'm writing documentation, doesn't it? Weapon attack bonus. Weapon damage bonus. I'm even gonna talk like I'm bored. Weapon damage die. Die. Weapon damage rolls. Yeah, see, Google, the difference, I guess I could say this much. Difference between Google and the company I'm going to work for is Google is very much invested in active in open source. The company I'm going to is not. So I think the more a company gets involved in open source, then the more like they're comfortable with you presenting your work to the public because it's open source. Whereas a company where it's all proprietary, they're like, no, don't give away any of our secrets. No, I'm not going to work for Google. If I was, I'd be able to tell you, right? This is how logic works. I'm sorry, that sounded really condescending. I didn't mean it to. This is why I have to be careful, like, because by process of elimination, you guys are going to figure out where I'm working. And I guess that's okay. If you figure out where I'm going to be working, I guess it's okay to me. As long as I wasn't the one to, like, reveal it to you. Yeah, okay, I have to be more careful with what I say, because I'm, like, insulting my audience. I don't mean to. Running the migration script. Now I hope to see loot on my enemies now. Okay, I forgot when I get that means I forgot to add the table to the schema. And sure enough, it's not there. So let's add it. And then I need to do path and travel, which is for the pathfinding stuff. The state of the monsters as they use the pathfinding algorithms. Entity. Snake case, please. Let's try again. See, Adam's and my experiences with interviews, I think, are a lot different because of the because of a lot of different variables. If anything, I think Adam knows a lot more about being interviewed and has a lot more practice than I do. Here it is. Where's my loot? Loot's empty. Oh no. Okay, the loot's empty. Why is the loot empty? Let me see the database if the loot's there. I lost the loot. What directory are we in? Correct. Open database. Where's my loot? NPC loot. It's empty. Okay, so the inserts didn't work. Did I forget to do the insert stuff? I probably did. I only did the export, not the import. That would explain a lot. Yeah, so there's export NPC loop. I never did the import NPC loot. Yep. Is it the same thing? Is it optional? Yes, it is. I'm just gonna copy, because I can. Loot, loot, loot. This one has a lot more columns, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. So 3 more, 6 more, 7 more. Concat, because it's getting long. All right, so it's loot, or item really. Item dot all of these things. Chance, max, stack quantity, etc., 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 etc. Yeah, well, I'm sorry this might not be the most interesting stream, but I do need to get this stuff done. Once I have all the data imported, then it's going to be a lot more opportunity for me to actually use that data to build up the rest of the stuff. So, oh, there's an extra field. So that's why I'm wanting to do this now, even though it might not be the most interesting. Let's do it by index, I think. Now, let me make sure I got the min and max squared away here. Min and then max, right? Min 5, max 6. Okay. Uh-oh, I'm off by 1. It has 10 columns, but only 11 were specified. Wait, what? 11 values? Really? Chance, max stack quality, name, min, max. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, too many question marks. Hey there, Moraeus. Okay, database import export works. Oh, there's my loot. All right, that's the green slime's loot. It made it through the database transition and back. And without being damaged. This is what I want to see. Can I help you with the question? Well, you haven't asked the question yet. I don't know if I can help you. A pro tip, and I don't mean this to be condescending, so I shouldn't have said pro tip, but in general, it's always just better to ask the question than to say hello, and then can you help me with the question, and then please. Just ask the question. If you want to be polite about it, ask the question, and at the end of the question say, can you answer this, please? It's always better unless you're face to face with someone. If you're face to face, you can start off with a hello, but in general, when you're in email or instant message or in chat, just ask the question. Unless it's a long question, then what you should try to do is make a short version of the question first. And if I say, yeah, I think that's something that I can help you with, but I need more detail, and then you follow up with a longer question. You had no idea about C++ during a BS degree. You had to learn C++, so you had an advantage watching me. Right now, you have no idea about Rust, but who knows? Well, when you look at the Rust code I'm doing, there are going to be a lot of elements that are similar to C++, like a for loop. It's essentially the same. It's the thing you're looping over and then the loop variables. As you get to know other programming languages too, everything kind of fits into place that even if you don't know the language, you should be able to at least get the gist of what I'm doing. Like, you know what an if statement is, right? There's a little twist here in Rust that this if statement is doing a pattern match, and the clue is that there's a let and then an equal. And this is the pattern, and that's the thing we're matching it against. And this is the binding inside the pattern. Basically, if there's a match, then whatever's in this position in that, we're going to give that local name for the rest of the scope here. Little wrinkles like that you might not get, but the gist of what I'm doing, hopefully it makes sense. Creating a program using an animal class hierarchy from the previous chapter to observe the polymorphic behavior. Implement a vector of animals instantiate different species. Call a. It's Java. Yeah, you're asking about homework, right? So I'll help you, Marius. My help for you is go talk to your teacher if you're stuck. The teacher's there to help you learn. It would be shooting yourself in the foot to just get someone else to find the answer for you. You won't learn as much. So sorry, but it's a hard thing sometimes, but if you really want to learn and succeed in school, you have to be able to do it yourself. If you need help getting started, that's what your teacher is there for. Because you could learn on your own the same thing if you could get started. The teacher is there to help you get started on the road to learning. Yeah. Now, let me tell you what the teacher would probably tell you. They would say, well, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Do you understand the elements of the problem? Do you know what a vector is? Do you know what a class hierarchy is? Do you know what polymorphic behavior is? If the answer to any of those is no, then go back and read in the textbook or the lessons or the notes you took. Hopefully you took notes when the teacher was covering it, if they did. And you need to get those basic things down, and then that'll help you understand what the problem is. Hopefully that gives you some ideas on how you'd approach the answer. But yeah, I guess I should have started with, we're not going to help with homework by giving you an answer, but we can help guide you towards what you should be doing, which is talk to your teacher, break the problem down, and try to understand the terms of the problem, go back and review your notes, the lesson, and then hopefully you get some idea about what your approach should be. Okay, the loot is there. What was I going to do next? Right, the pathfinding. Let's just copy these over. We'll get it all finished out. By the way, Adam, I really appreciate that you're here and helping moderate. It's really, really cool of you to do that. I know you're busy with your job, and you don't have to be here to help, but I really appreciate it. Also hope that you're having a good time listening to me and watching me struggle with database stuff. Okay. Sometimes I feel like I'm a juggler. Because I'm juggling like 3 different things in my mind. I'm juggling like the problem I'm trying to solve. I'm trying to watch chat, and then as questions come in, I'm trying to think about those too. You're having a good time? I'm glad. All right. By the way, Adam, in the production build of the game, we still have Slimyville. There's Slimy 2.0. Look at him. Look at him. His name is Slimy V2. I should give him like the Atom Slayer item in his inventory. He wouldn't know how to use it, but it would just be funny. Sims Force 88% off? Wow. Is that the only platform it's sold on? Would it make you any better, Adam, if I told you I personally know someone who works on the Sims game? Would it make you feel better giving them money? I don't know. Slimy should be level 99, destroy any player. Yeah, we got to build up this story behind Slimy version 2. Okay, I have to try not to become too distracted. I need to make structures that mirror these tables, right? Based off of what I have in the... Actually, I don't have... this is going to be tough because I don't actually have anything in the test environment for this, do I? Because these are temporary variables that only exist when NPCs are actually traveling. So there'll be like a... Yeah, this path thing, right? Yeah. Yeah, so here's where we store it while they're traveling. This is going to be tough. I just have to base it solely on this, knowing that it's... The step means that these were... these are indices into some vector. I guess that's what it is. These are just... Are these independent then? What's... Let me find travel. That looks like it. I can confirm that the angry emote is one of Adam's top 5. But I don't know about the burger. Adam, I have hardly ever seen you use the burger emote. Any idea how long you'll be away? My guess would be at least a month. The last job I started, I remember I couldn't tread water, so to speak. Like, didn't feel like I was keeping up with the being fed through the fire hydrant. The sheer amount of time and energy it took to just learn everything I needed at the job and get incorporated into the team, it took me like about a month at least. Anyway, yeah, they actually have a Twitch stream, Adam. Usually when they're showing different content patches, but yeah, the Sims team will stream, and once or twice the person that I know was in the stream. Look, it took you 4 months before things are getting okay? I can only go by my personal experience. The last job, it was about a month. Maybe, yeah, so it could be, I could be way off. I'm really bad at estimating time anyway. My friends like to say that they take the estimates I say and multiply by 7 to get the real estimate. So maybe it won't be for 7 months. I don't know. Okay, I want to see where this travel variable is used. Okay, there we go. So it's a list of lists? Oh no, these are XY coordinates. XY, okay. That makes more sense. Actually, there it was, right? Destination... No, never mind. Yeah, I hope mine's speedy too. A pro table flipper. I'm gonna become a corporate slave, apparently. I got a full-time job that starts on Monday. So, an indefinite contract, I guess you could say. Captive audience kind of contract. Okay, I think I see what's going on. I'm going to have a hard time to convert that to SQL later. But yeah, it's just a list of XY coordinates, and so is the path. So, oh, I remember how this works. These were distinct points that we would program into the NPC script. This was auto-generated by doing an A* path find. Between any two travel coordinates, we would find the intermediate path. So these are both going to be structured the exact same way. And that means that in the ORM, so to speak, I can probably use the same structure. So struct coordinate. Actually, I already have anchor. Why don't I just use that? That makes the most sense to me. Yeah, so let's call this one coordinate. And then I just have a vector of those in NPC here. I just don't know how it's going to be stored. It's going to be an array of objects. Yeah, so this should work. Was it just called travel? Path and travel, okay. So there's path, option, vector, coordinate. And then travel goes down here. Yeah, thanks, Lycan. I have auto mod ratcheted all the way to the top. It didn't even like the word damn. Did Twitch get rid of supply? Well, Adam, it's only for certain elite streamers. That I'm not an elite streamer, so I don't get the feature to reply to specific messages in my channel. See, I think because I allowed it and you sent the same exact thing, it allowed it automatically. Yeah, for some reason in my channel I never got the threading feature in my chat. Oh, you clicked allow on your end too? Huh. Twitch is just being Twitch. So path is going to be self export NPC coordinates. Coordinate vector. Coordinates. Well, actually, I guess we're no, I can do this, right? It's just that I'll have to give the name of the table. So it'll be db entity, right? Yep, entity, and then the table is path. And then travel is just, and this will be sum. Let me think about this. Yeah, sum. Travel is the same thing. Okay. So then we just need to add it. Pub function export NPC coordinates. Entity and then table name. Static string. I guess I don't need a lifetime there, right? And this is a vector of coordinate. And here, that is replaced. So format that there. Select everything from table where entity is something ordered by slot. Unable to read something table. Table name table for NPC something. Okay. It's X and Y. Don't need these. This is coordinate. X get 2, Y get 3. Unable to parse NPC, something X coordinate. So this is with context with closure so that we can only construct this if there is an error, right? And then comma table name. And I might as well just overwrite the Y with that make it Y, make it 3, and make it Y there. Close this. All right. Oh, it wants to borrow the string we made just for it. Didn't know that threading was only rolled out to some channels? Yeah. You never really used it? Then why couldn't I use it? It is pretty helpful to just to tie the context together. But I think in the huge streams, the chat goes so fast that you don't even have conversations. Usually the ones I've seen, like, it's a degenerate form of chat where everyone just is chanting emotes or memes. And there's very little real conversation in them. Does a hole still trigger automod when it's on super high? Looks like it didn't. Actually, VIPs might be immune to automod. We would need, like, the Geek Pirate or someone else to try it out. Actually, Yes Operator wrote it. It might be a permitted term, or they might have fixed that. Thank you for the test, Yes Operator. I'll give you a point for that. So, yeah, VIPs can't really test the automod feature because I think automod is more lax for them. Yeah, the bigger the chat, like, the less real information there is. There's 715209. Pepe Hands. I'll be back someday. I'm not going away forever. Okay, that's the export. I need the import now. This stuff, right? Actually, I can copy the smaller one, right? Yeah, let's copy this shorter one. Path travel. Did I type NPC path? I don't think I did. I think I screwed that one up. So, yeah, this was NPC path and NPC travel. All right. So slot coordinate, insert into NPC path values, coordinate X, coordinate Y. And if it accepts that, then I just copy paste that for travel. And I consider that I should probably have made a macro to do that, but okay. I can do it. I can live without it for now. No such column slot. Slot. What did I call it? Step. Okay. Step. Wrong one. No, that is the right one. Step. I should just take this opportunity to drink some water. All right, the export worked. Let's look at it. Oh, actually, it's not. We're not going to see anything. Actually, that is. I shouldn't be doing that, should I? I think this one I want to I want it not to be there if it's empty. So that would be an import rule, right? Yeah. So what if I let export figure out if it should be something. So I get rid of the sum. And this would be sum option vector. And then what I'll do is I guess do a let coordinates equal that. And then if coordinates empty is empty, coordinates better be a vector. It's unknown. Great. Maybe you'll understand from that context. None. Else sum coordinates. Type annotations needed. All right, so that should be an S there. Maybe you'll figure it out now. Aha, nope, nope. Okay, we'll give it a type annotation. This is an option of vec. Actually, it should be able to figure that part out, right? Is there no is empty for vector? Oh, shoot, that's not an option, that's a vector. Vector. Then it should be able to figure it out. No? Oh, these have to be OKs. How about if I do OK on the outside? Haha. That might be why it couldn't figure it out. Type annotations needed there. Can I get rid of that type annotation at least? No. Okay, so I need it in both. So this needs to say collect anyhow result of something. See how I'm trying really hard not to say the types because I want Rust compiler to figure it out. All right, now I shouldn't see the lists at all unless they're non-empty. Or in other words, I shouldn't see the list if it's empty. Too bad I don't actually have a JSON with a non-empty travel list right now. Once you annotate collect, you should be able to remove the vec. Maybe. Nope, it still needs it. I think the reason why is there are multiple different types which might have an is empty function, right? So, because if something can be converted to a vector from something else that also supports is empty, it would work. So it's not what am I trying to say? It's still ambiguous if I leave that out because there are other types which might fit as a vector and have an is empty method. It's sufficiently separated. Why is collect not a vector of any? It's collecting. Each of these is fallible, right? So that's why we you can if I turn on the type annotations, it might help, or the inlay hints. The and then rows yields a result of a coordinate or an error. So when you collect that iteration, you get a result of a vector, or a result of the collection. It's a cool thing that collect can do. Yeah. So yeah, inlay hints might be something, or maybe it's better that I break it up and actually give types to the thing. I don't know. It's arguable what might make it easier to read. But it's because question marks are not easy to see. That question mark, if you see it, it's a hint that what comes before it is something that is a result, right? It's fallible, and that we're doing an early return and discarding that layer. So it's kind of hard to see that. Specify one place in the collect would be collect. Yeah. So that's why I see what you're saying. So yeah, I think you're right. I could do that too. Let me give you a point, because that's probably easier to read, right? Result a vector of something. And that works too. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, am I finally done with NPCs? I might check this in and call it a day. And then see you guys on the flip side. Let me make sure I caught all the NPC stuff. NPC class is a different kind of entity, actually. This is the class template for automatically spawned NPCs, which has its own loot table. I think I might just check this in. Have we gone robotic? Get cola. So work in progress. Work in progress. No. How do I want to say this? Add more to data migration and schema. So add look table, add NPC table, various NPC tables, and the interact table. Oh, no, that was just fixed. That was just refactoring. So a little bit of refactoring. I'm not even going to say that. Stage it all, commit, push it on upstream. Okay, my friends, I think this might be it. It was great streaming for you. It's been 445 streams. I don't know when 446 will be. Hopefully in May, but we'll see. Hey, maybe even sooner. It's possible that if they okay it right away, I could still do like a weekend stream once in a while, like what Adam was doing. I will try to be back sooner rather than later, yes, operator. I very, very, very much appreciate all of the support, and I could hope to get back soon. I'm gonna go find someone else to hang out, to whose channel to hang out at for a bit. Let's see. Is Adam streaming? I always look for to see. I hope so, Adam. Thanks so much for being here. I'm trying to pick someone to raid right now. I guess we can raid Chris. No problem, not so blah. So yesterday this didn't work. Let's make sure it works this time. Start raid. Okay, I see the pop-up. That we're not going to remain there. Okay, so I'm going to click on his channel. Put it in chat. Going to be raiding Chris Griffin. So he made the chat overlay that you see above my head, and he's working on it today. So let's go hang out on his channel. What do you say? I'll be back sometime, in the hopefully not too distant future. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.